by making the splint, okay? So I feel that pulse, good strong radial pulse, check the cap refill, good. Man, wiggle your fingers for me. Great, which finger am I touching? Pinky finger, good, CMS is good. Now, what I wanna do is to utilize the sling and swath, okay? So, since it's a wrist injury, do I have to sling and swath? No, but it would be more comfortable for the patient and secure it better for them if I do so. So might as well keep the patient as comfortable as possible, right? Now, if I have injuries up here, like for example, a dislocated shoulder or a possible broken humerus up here, would it make more sense that it is crucial to sling and swath your patient, which is the triangular bandage making a sling to hold your arm and then securing it to your chest? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So the further up you go, the more ideal, the more there is legit meaning for using this, cool? Other than just helping secure it to keep it from pain, okay? All right, let's do it. So your sling and swath. So you have these things called triangular bandages in every kit. Everyone's got them. You open them up and guess what shape they are? Hey, cool. So how this works is you take the top of the triangle, you open it up, and it is actually, see there's only one top, you see what I mean? Like normal, like a pyramid, okay? And you just tie one simple overhand knot, okay? You don't have to make it too small, you can be a little generous with it. There you go, okay? And what that does is it makes it kind of like a pocket, okay? So you can actually wedge your elbow in there, cool? So if she's chilling right here like this, okay? By the way, make sure you let the patient know to always hold that or holding it yourself. Just keep in mind, okay? And what we can do here is hook this right underneath her elbow, okay? Go over this arm and come under here. Thank you, sir. Turn towards them, please. All right, so, that nice and hook there. So, this is the concept of a sling, right? But what we want is at least right here, preferably closer to the chest as possible and up high like that, okay? But you see all this slack here, well, how do I fix that? I can't just go like that, that doesn't work. You see, sorry, sorry, and now you guys will never forget that. Sorry about that too. So what you can do is something I learned over the years called twisting, okay? You just keep twisting, cinching down, twist, sorry, twist. Does that feel a little more secure? Let your arm hang? Does that feel pretty good?
It was about the same, but okay.
All right, never mind. Well, you guys get the idea, kind of. If it looks weird, try twisting. It might help you. I like to tie the knot off to the side. That way it's not putting a lot of pressure on the cervical spine. And then usually for comfort, what I like to do, thank you, sir, is open up some of these 4x4s or any gauze you have, kind of pat it in there so it doesn't hurt the patient very much, okay? Because that can get painful after a while, okay? But then, this is only the sling, all right? What I want to do, thank you, sir. The sling prevents this type of movement, okay? What you think about it, it has to do with the elbow mostly, okay? The swath, which is going to secure around her, okay, that prevents this type of movement, which is more shoulder oriented. Makes sense? So by doing a sling and swath on your test, you can make sure you can't fail. You know what I mean? If you do it every time, you're like, oh, it's just a wrist injury, I'm just going to splint it, I don't need to sling and swath. By the book, technically you're right. But if you have any doubt, that might actually be a forearm injury. You see where it's like, maybe just play it safe and sling and swath regardless. I recommend doing that, okay?
Can I add one thing to what he's saying? Even though that's true, and it's down here, another reason to swath the arm, you're in an ambulance, you're going along, even though you're top down. It hits a bump. You don't want that arm to go flinging off somewhere and whack something. Your point is to keep it as stable as you can all the way to the hospital and never create any further injuries to your patient.
Good, cool. All right, so to swath, what we're going to do, you can either take your Curlex gauze or a triangular bandage if your patient is small enough, and then you're gonna wrap it around here. You go under the unaffected arm and over the affected, okay? Make sure we get a nice, what I like to do is hook this there, so it really secures it in there. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. All right, and then always, make sure you don't do it too tight. Cool?
Too tight here.
All right.
You know, a thing about these, let me just, one other thing. Whenever you do these things like this, you always try to open them out as much as you can. That way it won't cause a lot of direct pressure on any organs or anything beneath it. But yet, it's over and can hold the arm in place, okay?
All right. So you want to cover that up, but you also want to make sure you keep the injury exposed to. You have to still be able to visualize it and still be able to assess full CMS. So after we sling and swab the patient, then what I want to do is assess the final CMS. Ma'am, can you wiggle your fingers for me, please? Great. Close your fingers. Which finger am I touching?
Middle?
Middle finger, okay. And I'm checking the radial pulse. I got a good strong radial pulse. Cap refill as well, less than 2 seconds.